going to, but then once he kind of gave him that look, I knew what we had talked about in the
Oh my
pre-show
God.
was going to take
Well,
place.
it's crazy because, like, okay, guys, if you're just joining us for the after show, we just watched X-Men 97 episode 9, and holy shit, they literally did what we talked about. They did Fatal Attractions, and I actually like the way they did it because they did Asteroid M. Asteroid M is destroyed Fatal Attraction, and they're on Avalon. But in this case, it makes sense that they're on Asteroid M. I mean, neither team had, they're both facing adversity at this point. And yeah, Magneto did the unthinkable. He ripped the adamantium out of his body like he does in the comics in Fatal Attractions. Oh my God.
Oh, that's going to set up for an interesting, final episode on how the Wolverine character plays out. As we discussed earlier, does now he walk away, right? And then Jean, we don't even know. I mean, that was a minor cliffhanger there as well. We don't even know if she survived what Cable was doing to her.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be another thing that hopefully they'll solve, or at least tell us about in the last episode.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that, it's not going to be a case where, she dies and they try to introduce Dark Phoenix. That Dark Phoenix already happened.
Correct.
Because they've already made reference to it that it happened in the past. So I don't think she's going to die because she's too key of a character. But it didn't look very good that Sinister was controlling Cable in his attack against her. I mean that was so we don't know what's happening with them. I don't think she's dead, but fuck. I mean, you never know.
You never know.
But again, I mean, a lot of the events that took place in Fatal Attractions happened again, where we got and see, that's the thing, is that Xavier, attacked his mind in Fatal Attraction. But he had the help of Jean Grey as well. But he put him into he put Magneto into a coma. This one he didn't. He seemed to just like hurt him, but he got right back up again. That's why I was like, wait, hold on, what's going on? He got back up again, and
right after Charles threw his own helmet on Charles, so Charles couldn't use his powers against him, and was gonna. It looked like at right before Wolverine intervened, it looked like he might have been ready to go kill Charles at that point, but then Wolverine intervened and stabbed him right in the back and thought he had the upper hand, and then that obviously didn't play out well for Wolverine.
No, and if we follow the Fatal Attraction storyline, then in Fatal Attraction, after he rips he begins to rip the adamantium out of Wolverine's body. This enrages Xavier, and then that's when he teams up with Jean Grey, and they basically mind wipe Magneto and leave him in a coma. I mean, also Colossus is involved with this, which he's not, obviously in this.
Yeah.
But and like there's the whole like legacy virus that it's not in the show at all. But
I think that's still a very good possibility in the last episode, because then they can just focus on Sinister, Bastion, and anyone else that they may bring in on the last episode. So it's still a good possibility.
I mean, the only way that they can stop Magneto from further killing Wolverine is that it has to be Xavier, mind wiping him, which I thought he was doing because, like screaming.
Yeah,
that's the shot that they used in Fatal Attraction when he did his mind wipe on him with the help of Jean Grey. So he's gonna. I think that Xavier is going to be enraged at the beginning of the next episode, and he's going to attack Magneto harder than he's ever attacked him before, because he's just basically about to nearly killed Wolverine.
Well, is your prediction then that the final episode will literally pick up right where we're leaving off? Or do you think there's going to be a slight little time jump?
Absolutely. I think it picks up right where we left off.
Okay.
And it's going to be the continuation of these battles. Because, I mean, if we jump ahead, to me, it's like, oh, wait, no, I need to see what happened. So I think it'll pick up right where we left off. Because once they mind wipe Magneto, that's when the X-Men hop back on the Blackbird and they're flying down, trying to get back to their home so that they can try and help Wolverine. But it's gonna be a little different because now they're separate in two teams. I mean, like when this happened in the comics, Jean Grey was present; she was there, and he ends up saving her too because like a door or one of the hatches blows open and she almost gets
Yeah.
sucked out, and Wolverine grabs her and he's like ah, as he's like dying because his super healing ability is like freaking the fuck out because there's too much damage is happening to his body. Um, Guys, we have 83 people watching right now. If you're watching on X, make sure you follow my account because we're going to be live next week for the finale of X-Men 97. If you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, or become a member of the channel over on YouTube side. I do appreciate everyone who's a member. But dude, this was a really, really good episode, and I love the intensity of the show. I love how the music is intense. Like, a lot of people are gonna hate this, but this feels more like like a Snyder cut of Marvel. You know what I mean? Where it's more violent, it's more serious, it's darker. The music is intense. I love it. I love what Bo DeMaio is doing with this show. I can't wait to see how it's going to end.
Well, I think that's one of the appealing aspects of it is that it does feel darker. It does feel a bit more gruesome. And again, I think that all the risks that they've taken through this entire season have paid off. As far as whether it was the villains they introduced, killing off Gambit, what we just saw happen to Wolverine. Again, it's great storytelling, and they weren't afraid to go to these places from the source material, like we've seen from many other shows, whether it's animated or any other Marvel show we've seen in the past that didn't work out. I think this one is definitely paying off for them. I mean, obviously, yeah, we got one episode left, and we left off with I think probably one of the biggest cliffhangers we've seen this season. I don't think there's, been another cliffhanger as big as this one, regardless of this being part of the finale or not. I think this was a pretty big one, especially happening to a main character. Where as you were predicting in the pre-show, could they go there with this story? And they absolutely did.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, I can't. I mean, like I knew it was coming, but just to see it happen was just. And then not only that, but like Wolverine got a huge stab into Magneto.
Yeah, when that happened, I thought what we had talked about wasn't going to happen. I thought, okay, they're going to kill Magneto off right here, right before the last episode. But then when he turned and kind of had that look on his face, like, yeah, homie, I'm not going to die right here, and then did what he did to Wolverine. Yeah, that's a game changer for the last episode. And side note, obviously we had another cameo in the battle. Did you Hulk showed up?
Well, yeah, it morphed into Hulk.
Well, I'm just cool I know that, but I mean, still, it was still
it was cool to see the Hulk. Yeah, because I mean, he did the same thing with Colossus and
Juggernaut,
Psylocke.
And Juggernaut, he did Juggernaut last.
Yeah, he did Juggernaut.
So I mean, yes, it's not the actual character, but still,
it's cool though. It's still a cameo.
Cool to see,
yeah. Wow. I mean, he's getting fucked up. Oh, I knew they were gonna do it, and not only that, but like when I tweeted out the short that covered Wolverine having his adamantium ripped out, Bo DeMaio liked it, and that's why I knew this is going to happen.
There, yeah, there might be something there.
I was like, I think it's definitely going to happen. There's too many similarities to the way the story is kind of lining up with Fatal Attraction. I mean, really, it's like. It's interesting because I would have thought that Magneto would take on Bastion head on, and I think he would be able to take him down because of all of the metal and all those parts that are in the hybrid Sentinels. But still, I mean, neither team has won their battle yet, and so that's the scary part. I mean, where do you think it's going to go going into next week?
Well, that's going to be a tough one because I'm curious to find out what happens next for Magneto. I mean, he's got a pretty bad wound afflicted on him, and is him, Rogue, and Roberto kind of doing their own thing against Charles and the X-Men, and they're also doing their own thing against Sinister and Bastion. I mean, it's almost like we have three teams here battling it out to see who's going to come out on top, and obviously. One wants to save the mutants, one wants to kill the mutants, and one wants only mutants, right? So,
right.
I mean, I'm hoping again, as you pointed out, I hope it does pick up right where we leave off on this
Mhm.
episode. I don't want to see whether it's a day or a week time jump. Wolverine's like in some hospital bed. I want to see it right from here. Let it play
No,
out.
yeah, absolutely. I
And
mean,
I would definitely be okay with another like major cliffhanger where maybe we don't see any side win. Maybe there's something else that's going to happen in this last episode that will literally just take us completely by surprise out of left field. Didn't anticipate that that's being
mhm.
brought into the story. And it says, credit scene. See you guys in season 2. Right. I think that, I mean, that'd probably be the best way to go about it. Again, you want to keep the audience coming back for this story because they've been doing it for thus far for 9 weeks. Why not keep it going?
I mean, I still believe that they're going to rush back and they're going to take out the remaining adamantium in Wolverine's body. I think that it's going to lead to him rejoining the X-Men in the Danger Room and having that iconic scene of him, with claws out with blood
Yeah.
running down his hands because now they're bone claws uh and so I think that Wolverine is going to eventually. I think it's going to end with him leaving the X-Men to go on his own because he needs to figure out. He needs to figure
So
himself out.
So let's play that out real quick. So let's say that happens in the last episode, next week's final episode in this 3-parter. Do you think then in season 2 Wolverine will even be around, or do you think it will be kind of like a side story to the main story where we
I
we,
think
we follow the
Wolverine.
X-Men, but then now we're in this episode or part of this episode we're going to follow Wolverine and hopefully he'll come back and join the team at some
I
point.
think in this episode, he will definitely. I mean, and going into season 2, I think he will have a big storyline. I think he'll have a storyline kind of like what we saw with Storm. He's going to have his own story going on, and I think his story will lead to Apocalypse, because Apocalypse, approaches him and offers to put his adamantium back in his body and kind of restore him to what he was. But, Wolverine is like, dude, I don't want to join you. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to become one of your horsemen. And he tries to make him become Death. That's
Yeah.
that's what he's going to be. And so he ends up having to take on Sabretooth for the right to be Death. And he's like, I don't want to do that. But Apocalypse is the one who eventually puts it back into his body. So I think that if you're going to introduce Apocalypse, and we saw Apocalypse in the intro fighting against Cable,
Yep.
so far, like, the intro has given you a lot of hints on where the show is going. In this episode's intro, they removed the sinister kind of plaguing Morph's mind. That whole scene they cut out because now they have the Xavier intro, Nightcrawler intro, but they still showed Cable fighting against Apocalypse. So I definitely believe that Apocalypse will be the big bad going into season 2. And I think that at the end of this season, which is going to happen next week, I think they are going to defeat Bastion, and Magneto will be left in a coma. Now,
Well, and do we get a 5 to 10 second cameo of Apocalypse right as the cliffhanger?
no, I don't
No?
think so.
Okay.
I think that Wolverine story will lead him to Apocalypse.
Okay.
And so that's how they'll introduce Apocalypse, is through Wolverine when he's on his own journey. I think that's how they're going to do that. But in Fatal Attraction, it's funny because they did this, like, similar things, right? So in Fatal Attraction in the comic series, Colossus, after the death of his sister, Ilyana Rasputin, after she dies from the legacy virus, Magneto comes down and at her funeral, similar to what he did in this episode where he came down, above the lake and basically offered the same thing. In the comic, they attack him, and all the X-Men kind of like Cyclops and a bunch of X-Men shoot their power into Bishop, and Bishop attacks Magneto, only to have Colossus punch him in the back and then join Magneto, because now he's mad at the world because his sister died. And so I think that, it was cool to see them kind of adapt that in their own way. They had Rogue join him instead because she had Gambit who died, and she
Yeah.
said, "No, I don't want any more mutants to die." And so I thought that was cool how they kind of flipped that. And Sunspot also joined him as well because he's like, "Dude, my mother, threw me to the fucking wolves. Fuck, fuck these people." So the way they did that, I thought was really cool. But
I wasn't surprised about Rogue joining.
no, it made sense.
I was actually expecting that
It
to
made sense
happen.
because
Yeah.
when he did it, I was like, "Who's going to join him? Somebody has to join him because
Yeah.
somebody joined him in Fatal Attraction." So it made sense that Rogue joined him based on what was happening in the storyline. So I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yep.
And dude, Bo DeMaio, if you're watching, which I know you are, if you're watching, dude, fucking top notch. Dude, this is badass.
You should have tossed him the link.
I know I should have, but still, like this is by far the best Marvel series that I have ever seen. Aside from, I think the only thing that rivals this is Loki. But this is really good. This is some really good shit.
And that seems to be the general consensus across the board as far as this first season goes. And yeah, we have one episode left, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can pack into the final episode for this season.
I don't know how they're planning to save Jean Grey from Cable. It looked like she got hit or something.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that she's gonna die. I think that obviously somebody or something is going to
Well, the way she was speaking to, or she was, as we saw, speaking to Scott, it was almost as if she was saying goodbye.
Well, yeah,
as she was expecting to die.
Exactly. So. She was expecting to die, and so that's why she was like, "All right, peace out." But I feel like
I kissed Wolverine.
I know. I feel like somebody or something is going to show up to save her. And who knows? I mean, maybe it's I don't know.
Another cameo. Maybe it's another cameo we haven't seen yet.
Because Morph and Beast are all tied up in Bastion's hideout. She's kind of being blasted by Cable, and then the other member of the team is Cable. So that was it. So somebody could show up to save her. I don't know who.
Well, because Storm's out of the picture as well. She went into the water. So she's not going to be able to do any good.
I mean, it very well could be Forge, too, because we didn't see his plane crash. So he
or unless Rogue does something, unless she kind of changes her mind after seeing what happened to Wolverine.
But she's still up on Asteroid M. There's no way that she can get down there in time.
Well, she won't be able to get down there in time. Yeah.
So I think Forge might be the one. Nico White writes, Magneto was right. Yeah, he was. But I think that Forge is probably going to be the one that kind of shows up to save her because you saw his ship going down, but you don't know where he went. So maybe he's the one who shows up to kind of help her out. Yeah, I mean, he's shooting his gun. No, he's not shooting his gun, is he? He was shooting. He was using his abilities.
Yeah,
and so maybe Forge shows up and snaps the collar on him to disable his abilities, and that's how they save her. I don't know. Yeah, he really was. Yeah, and I knew it was coming because in the comic, Wolverine sees an opening to go at Magneto, and he slashes at him and right at his gut, but he misses, and that's when Magneto grabs him and then rips out his adamantium using his magnetic ability. So it's gonna be interesting to see where we go from here. We have 101 people watching right now. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a member of the channel or joining us on Patreon. We're going to be live next week as well to watch X-Men 97 episode 10, the finale, and of course we'll be live for next season as well. We need more Nightcrawler. He's badass. Yes, I absolutely agree. Nightcrawler has been a welcome addition to the X-Men team on this show. I'm so glad that they kept Nightcrawler, and we were talking about that too. We were like, dude, yep. I hope they keep Nightcrawler. That'd be fucking awesome, and they have. So that I love. That I think
Nightcrawler is always been one of my favorites, and I'm glad when they did introduce him, it wasn't just a quick, half episode introduction, and then he kind of just disappears into no more. I mean, he's been ever since he has shown up, he has been in every episode, and he's played some pivotal roles as well. So I can't imagine we won't see more of him in the last episode next week. I'd imagine he'll have just as big as a part as he normally has. So,
and guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. That would definitely help support the channel. So I appreciate everyone who does that as well. Nightcrawler is up in space, isn't he? Isn't he up with on Asteroid M, or is he down there on the with Gold
oh my
Team?
gosh, I think he's up on Asteroid M. Now I'm going to sit here and question this.
Yeah, he's on Asteroid M.
Yeah,
he's on Asteroid M. Because I was gonna say, if he's down there, he could have been the one to save him, but
no, he's on Asteroid M.
Nico White writes, Fatal Attraction is good for that reason. It gives us a proper look at Charles. He was almost irredeemable this episode. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bring back those Nightcrawler swords. Yeah, the swords were badass. I really that was sick as fuck. But no, like I said, I think it's probably gonna be Forge that's gonna show up to help Jean Grey. I don't think she's gonna die. I hope she doesn't die.
Hey man, crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened. You never know.
So you never know.
But I don't think she's going to die, if you ask me. And obviously, look, I think Wolverine is going to end the season being the bone clawed Wolverine. No adamantium, and he's going to leave the team to go on his own, because that's what he does in the comics. And knowing what Bo DeMaio has done with this series so far, I think that's where it's going to go, and that's going to lead Wolverine into the hands of Apocalypse, and you're gonna find out Apocalypse is gonna be the next big villain in the X-Men universe in this series. It looked like Xavier had mind wiped Magneto, but I guess he didn't, because I was like, oh, he mind wiped him before he pulled the adamantium out. I get it. Okay, that's what they're gonna do. But then he jumped right back up and was like, oh, I'm back. I was like, oh shit, what did you even do?
Yeah, I thought for sure he was down for the count when that happened. I thought, okay, we're not gonna see the Wolverine scene, but then it was just a matter of a quick scene change. He was getting right back up.
But again, I think that Charles Xavier's ideals again maybe have gotten in the way, and they got in the way in the sense that he performed that what I thought was a mind wipe on Magneto, but he didn't kill him, and he didn't put him into a comatose state because he doesn't want but he did it because he didn't want to do that to his friend. But look what ended up happening. So I think
I think now going into the last episode, we're going to see that potential irredeemable Xavier, right? Where his hand's going to be forced to make probably some very tough decisions he wouldn't have made previously. But now,
he's going to fuck up, Magneto. And to be honest, I think that he's going to do something to get that helmet off of him, and he's going to fuck up Magneto really, really bad. Because I think when he sees what he's done to Wolverine, and he says, "Dear God, don't do that." I think by ripping out the adamantium of Wolverine, that is going to unleash Xavier going into like his own like berserker mode, where he's gonna fucking get so enraged that he's gonna just mind fuck Magneto.
Well, that was definitely a point of that was a point of no return, right? Not just for Magneto, but to your point, for even Charles as well, to see what his friend just did to Wolverine.
Yeah,
his lifelong friend. And now it's like, okay, well, you're no longer that person anymore after what I just saw you do. So I think that's obviously dead in the water. So I think the gloves are going to come off, and Charles he'll have his rage moment in the last episode.
He's going to rage hard,
kind of like how Rogue had hers in last week's episode.
He's gonna rage, dude. He's gonna rage and fuck up Magneto, and that's gonna be crazy, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
But guys, we have 105 watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out the website. It's called nicotina.net. I'm still working out some of the bugs, but you can definitely take a look at it, which gives you a look at all 3 channels that the network offers. And if you can join communities, I think, if the links want to work. And that's where if you join the community for the Nicotina show, you'll be able to you'll be able to talk with both myself and Sean as well. And we can talk about X-Men 97. I'll have different topics on there as well. So definitely check out nicotina.net. The membership options will be available soon. And when they are, I'll definitely let you guys know. But I think definitely, I mean, poor Wolverine. And
Yeah,
to be honest, it makes sense why his role was so much smaller in this first season is because they knew at the end of the season it's going to heavily focus on Wolverine, and I think season 2 is going to heavily focus on
yeah.
Wolverine as a main character.
Well, and
And
that's
they said,
something we've been questioning that all season. I mean,
yeah,
every episode we I think we've commented literally on every episode saying, "Man, they've been doing great focusing on, other X-Men characters, building up their story, giving them the time to shine, and Wolverine's really taking a back seat." And obviously in the last 3 episodes. So last week and the week before, including
mhm,
this one, we've seen obviously more of Wolverine. So to your point, it seems like they were building this up, right? Like, hey, we've kept Wolverine in the back long enough. Now we're going to slowly start giving him some more screen time, so to speak. And now we're just gonna throw this right in your face. Magneto's
yeah,
going after him,
yeah.
and Magneto's just gonna mess him up big time. And then to your point, it sets it up perfectly for that story to play out going into a season 2.
BWT24 writes Onslaught versus Phoenix the next episode I predicted. And it very well could be that, like, she unleashes Phoenix. Because again, you saw Cyclops, looking at Phoenix in the intro. So
Yeah,
it kind of says, but the way that this series has kind of gone, it kind of says that the whole Dark Phoenix thing already happened.
already happened. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if Phoenix emerges out of her again.
And that's
Even though
been
we,
mentioned, and that was mentioned, I think, 2 or 3 times, especially when Madeline was around before,
mhm.
when her and Jean were interacting. I mean, that conversation had transpired as well,
Yeah.
and actually, I think it even came up in this episode early on.
So
So,
and if that's the case, then yeah, it could be a case where Phoenix emerges, and that's how she's able to stop Cable.
but wouldn't that be
Um,
a twist, right? If that
yeah,
happened. So,
absolutely.
but again,
Is there a possibility of Deadpool, I mean, a character joining the show? I don't think so.
I don't.
But you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what's happened this season, whether it was cameos, storyline, this happening to this character or that character, I don't think anyone could have anticipated all this within one season, especially the first season. So I think anything and everything is on the table, especially for the last episode. I mean, we could just be absolutely surprised as far as who shows up, or whether it's Phoenix, or what happens to Wolverine, any cameos, who else is gonna die. I mean, might as well go out with a bang. I mean, they've been doing it every episode this season.
Yeah.
I mean, even episode 1 didn't hold back any punches, right? So
Mhm.
why not? Why hold back anything on the last episode?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. That's gonna do it for the show. I mean, look, I cannot wait for next week's episode, and obviously it's the finale, so we are gonna go a little bit longer as well.
Yep.
But we know now that Wolverine has lost his adamantium, and we'll see where they go from here in terms of how to save him, and how they're going to stop Bastion as well. I mean, they can't even get to him. He's held them off so far, both Morph and Beast. People leave a like on the video. It doesn't cost anything. Exactly. SPG 1105. Thank you so much for saying that. You guys, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is one of the biggest episodes of X-Men 97. Wolverine finally got his adamantium ripped out. We finally saw it in animation form. We've never seen a live action or an animation,
Yep.
only on the comics. So, it was cool to see, but sad as well. They killed Gambit. So yeah, Gambit's dead. I don't
Yeah,
think he's not coming back
he's done.
anytime soon.
Yeah, he's
I
done.
don't think. I love Gambit. I wish he would come back, but I just don't see it happening. The only way I could see it all happening where Gambit comes back is if they pull one of those, we have to go back and stop the attack at Geonosia using time travel.
But that can't happen because Cable's already said that's a fixed point in time. That
Yeah.
that happens, so that can't be changed. So we know that that's not a possibility. That changing that won't save Gambit. So they'd have, if the Gambit would be saved, it'd have to be something else. But we know that can't happen because Gambit died in that attack. So if that's a fixed point in time and that's a fixed event, then Gambit is dead. And I think even the creator came out and said, yeah, Gambit's dead. He's done. So
So check this out. Bo DeMaio about an hour ago tweeted this out. Let me share the screen. This is before the episode started. Here it is right here. He tweeted out X-Men 97. If you skip the intro, all the X-Men die. And what did we do? We didn't skip the intro.
No,
we watched the entire thing
because
it gives you hints on like what's coming on or what you can expect. So definitely.
Imagine though if they would have had that somehow set up on the platform that if you did hit skip, it just went right to the credits and said everyone died.
Oh my God! Look at if you remember the OG series, Logan is actually complimenting Magneto when he does that deed. In a way, he understands why Magneto did what he did, but still has to do the deed. This is the beauty and honor of Logan. He does the nasty job so the other X-Men can dream. So he was answering comments not like
cool.
a half an hour ago, and he already said, "Okay, sleepy time next week." And so usually after the episode, like he'll respond to tweets, which is really, really cool. So next week will be the last and final live tweet. So he's tweeting during the episode. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, based on those timestamps.
Yeah.
Toss him a link for next week.
I know. I will. I'll send him one.
Yeah, look
at that.
What's going to happen? Doesn't show up.
And so that's when he shows up at the funeral of Ilyana Rasputin, this image right here. And he offers them the same thing that he did, but instead of saying Asteroid M, he offers them to go to Avalon, which is, it's actually Cable's ship, which is kind of strange. But whatever. But that's cool, man. Bo DeMiles, that guy's awesome, dude. I'm just saying what is happening worldwide, and there are hours left. Isn't it something at the Avengers level? Yeah, and I know, right? I mean, where are the Avengers? Like, where is Spider-Man? Where are all these other characters? I don't know.
Well, Cap is still walking to find his shield.
Yeah,
so we know where he's at.
Hello.
We know where he's at.
Exactly. Guys, like I said, that's going to do it for the show. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be live next week covering X-Men 97 on the watch party. Sean and the other nerds will be live tomorrow night for the 4 nerds, where they're going to talk again about X-Men 97. I won't be there because I have something I have to go take care of, but they will be talking about X-Men 97, and that will be live right here on this channel and on the 4 Nerds Network. So definitely check that out. Until then, you guys, like I said, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a member on YouTube or joining us on Patreon. Check out Nicotina.net. That's the website for all 3 of my channels, and we're going to be building that up as the days go on. So, Sean, we'll do it again next week.
We're going to do it again next week, my friend.
And we're going to see what's going to happen with X-Men 97.
Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, dude. It's badass. All right, guys. We will see you guys next time. Peace.